George, will you be able to, would people be able to catch this show at a later date? You'll let me know about that.
Pasadino, and I'm the director of Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. Let's go meet the cast.
I helped bring everybody over for this life-changing adventure they're about to experience.
I really don't belong here. I'm a cook.
I'm a nerve specialist.
I'm here on holiday, got invited by this woman who professes to know me.
I'm here for the ladies.
I'm here for the ladies too.
All I do is go for an innocent swim.
I'm a servant at the premises.
I'm a recently retired judge, and I was invited here by an old friend of mine.
Ex of Scotland Yard. If there's a killer here, I'll find him.
I didn't do a damn thing.
There's one more important person that I want you to meet. He usually hangs out back here. Oh, here he is.
And I'm Joe DiPietro. I'm the producer of this macabre menagerie. Is everybody ready?
Welcome to Buzz Talk Live. Born and raised in Astoria, New York, my guest tonight, Joe DiPietro, is a retired New York City firefighter and 9/11 first responder. He ended his career as a lieutenant in Brooklyn, New York. But his life dream of owning his own theater came to reality when he and partner Eva Dolan and their love of the arts took on the challenge of forming a new community theater company called Hardscabble Theater in Farmingdale, New York. Together, with the fellowship of other artists and technicians, they were driven to provide a platform to bring quality live theater to Long Island. Now remember, please use your chat to spur discussion tonight, and let's welcome Joe to the show. Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's up, George?
How are you, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Farmingdale, you're a neighbor. Come on, at Bethpage, you're in Farmingdale. It's like why are we doing this virtually? We should be on a couch somewhere, right? We should be sitting next to each other. But no, I appreciate you hanging with me tonight and telling your story.
Well, it's an honor to be on the show, and thank you very much for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. So, you're a pretty important person locally in our towns because of what you gave back and what you did for the landscape of Farmingdale. Let's put cards on the table here. I mean, when that theater first got developed, Farmingdale was I'll let you tell the story, but the revitalization of Farmingdale wasn't really there. I mean, the bars and restaurants.
No, it wasn't. As a matter of fact, when I first moved into the town, having been in the fire department in many neighborhoods that subsequently did gentrify,
Mm-hmm.
I saw all the signs in Farmingdale that the town was ripe for gentrification. There were a lot of stores that were closed,
Right.
etc. But I knew with the apartment buildings that were being built and the influx,
And with the young people coming into the town.
and it's a college town. A lot of people don't realize that.
Right. I mean, let's step back. I mean, New York City firefighter for many years, retired, lieutenant. So you've seen a lot, man, and a hero. Fighting fires and first responder in 9/11. Hey, hats off to you, buddy. You were definitely needed back then, and it was good that you were part of the action, and thank God you survived.
I never saw it as a decision that I grappled over to do what I did.
Right.
The thanks and the praise belongs to the people that made the supreme sacrifice. There.
Oh, yeah.
You have to all remember that.
Oh my God! The videos I saw afterwards of when the buildings were coming down and the people just fighting to live and survive and jumping. It was a traumatic experience, unlike no other that I've ever experienced in my life back then. And it's crazy. And now we got this, the pandemic, and it just you don't know which one you toss them in the air. It's crazy, but yeah, so let's get back to what you did for Farmingdale. Your small little part of it, and the theater, and this is so cool. Tell the story. I mean,
5 years ago, I was living in Farmingdale at the time, and a friend of mine, Eva Dolan, was also living in town, and she encouraged me to try acting. I had written couple of plays and
right.
some other things, and I think deep down inside it was always an outlet for me, the writing.
Yeah, it was like a passion that you had, and
was get on that stage and perform in front of people. So anyway, I was doing some acting. I was getting familiar with the community theater scene on Long Island, and
right.
Having thought that at that point Farmingdale was starting to come along now, and the signs of gentrification were strong.
Right.
So I thought it would be a great town to have a theater in, because of the restaurant scene and just the whole town is dedicated to bringing people in to enjoy, to eat.
What a unique move that was, and taking over not taking over the church, but you used the church, right, for the actual performances.
Yeah, well, the first thing we had to find was a space, so started to look around town. There's an Episcopal church on Conklin Street, right off Main.
Right.
We approached them, and it turned out, unbeknownst to anybody, there was a auditorium space behind the complex, and it hasn't.
Oh, so it's a separate building from the church. It wasn't like.
Sort of like a big barn structure,
I see. Okay.
and there was a perfect auditorium, presidium stage, and we went to town on it.
Yeah, I tell you, just getting the content for this show, I was actually, I mean, because it's like right here, so I was just gonna, bring a camera over there and take some shots, but I couldn't. You're saying that no access.
Yeah, at this point, the space is kind of closed.
Right.
Being involved in some discussions
Mm-hmm.
with the the church administration, who I would like to mention.
Sure.
Dan Peterson Snyder and Christine Peterson Snyder and Mother Van Loo, who is the present pastor of the church, who really ultimately make it possible.
Right.
They can tell us to get the hell out of there anytime they want. I don't think they will.
No. Well, I mean, since then, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but since then you've sold the theater after you discovered that it was too much for you to handle.
Well, the first production went well, but and I would have to say it was a success. But I just found that it was just too overwhelming.
What was the first production that you did there?
First production we did was Arsenic and Old Lace.
Okay.
We figured we'd go with something standard that had broad-based appeal.
Right.
It was fairly well attended, considering that, it was our first show.
Yeah. And the admission prices fit with the economics of the town?
Well, the average price, I would say, of a community theater ticket is between $25 and $30, which, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, you got to turn the lights on, right?
And people do leave. People that have never seen a community theater production,
right?
They leave pleasantly surprised for the most part.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. It's what a unique experience for the residents of Farmingdale, and it's a win-win with the bars and the restaurants. It's like a mini Manhattan experience, with the theater and stuff, and that was a great idea you guys had there.
It was really taking off as of last summer, but
yeah.
The pandemic has really put a damper on things.
Put a damper on a lot of things, my friend. A lot of things. But the I want to mention a mutual friend of ours, James Lorenz, and James, for a long time, and I grew up with him back in the Flushing days, and I think he's watching tonight. I don't know, but. I want to say he's watching tonight, but yeah.
It's to ball him out for.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But one of the great things about this show is the chats and how people that view can chat away and ask questions of the guest or myself or whatever, and that's what makes it fun, And it's just two people talking. And it's a great topic. It's a unique topic. I mean, having somebody from the theater, finding videos and this and that. When you're in the theater business, there is no videos. There's no recording of the shows. I mean, maybe now they do it, but from what I remember, there's cameras are not allowed.
One of the big problems is getting people to come to these shows.
Yeah.
Serious promotion takes money, but
right.
For the most part, Newsday does a good job of supporting Long Island Community Theater. There's a fellow there by the name of Dan Bubio who writes the paper, and he's very supportive of local theater and the arts. And so it's people like him that kind of keep us going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so you had to, you took over this part of the church or a separate building. You had to retrofit it. You have to put in lighting grids and a sound system of some sort. There's
Yeah.
so you pull together resources from the local community that are artisans and people that are in the community to use, or
No, initially, the initial investment was pretty much out of my pocket. I mean, this is something I wanted to do.
Wow.
So it didn't matter. In the beginning, a lot of it was rented. We had to rent lights and
right.
do sound but subsequently, as the theater grew and as I told you the other night, now it's a nonprofit corporation with a board of directors.
Truly a labor of love there in Farmingdale.
Yeah. And we're starting to turn it into a
So getting back to our friend James, there's also another buddy of yours who since passed, John Costello.
Yes.
And several years ago when Katrina hit, you and John went down to help out.
Yeah, well, our association began as co-workers in the fire department. We were in the fire department together.
Right.
By that time, John had a pretty successful career in film and some TV.
Right.
And we shared the same interests.
Right.
We became very good friends, and the rest is history. I met James through John.
Right.
That's a picture on my right. I don't know if that's the audience's left, but that's the three amigos right there. It brings back a lot of memories, good and maybe not so good. But
yeah. No, I remember James speaking well of John, and he's.
He was
I never met him. He seems like a really nice guy.
Influence in my life.
Yeah. No, I tell you, I mean,
changed after I met John, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, when you lose a good friend, I remember, having a good friend and I lost, and you're just never the same,
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Let's call it what it is. It's I always say, suicide is an accident. Yeah, that's all it is. Nobody.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, look, firefighter, acting. I know firefighters are plumbers. I think you're in the plumbing business too. It's like, what is it with you firefighters, man? I mean, you're getting into everything. You're even an umpire.
I don't know, George. I was hoping you would be able to tell me that. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got my hands in different areas, but not. Well, this is new for me. But as far as all the trades and stuff, I mean, I'm handy around the house. But as far as the acting thing, I mean, you're one of the only firefighter that I know now that does acting. So
a guy by the name of Steve Buscemi. Have you ever
right,
heard of
Buscemi? Right, exactly. Now,
guys out there?
Did you have any formal training of acting?
Well, I decided to go for training and study acting after I started acting. I realized, that I really liked it, and it's like anything else.
So you got the bug, and then you were like, you know what, I better study up on this.
Learn more about it. You want to get good, and you can't get good without formal training and things.
Yeah.
Studied at the Barrow Group, and there's some great people over there that teach acting, and I recommend anybody that maybe wants to take a class. It's as good a place as any, even better.
So as far as acting on stage and doing theatrical acting, was that primarily what you're doing? I know that you're involved with Kamal, who is actually, I'm trying to get him on the show through James Lorenz. So Kamal, if you're watching tonight, love to have you on Buzz Talk Live.
I tell you, Kamal, ironically, Kamal, even though most of my acting has been in the theater, he was the first person to give me an opportunity to act, and it turned out to be a non-speaking part. But
So is that the production that you're working on now?
that was a movie entitled "Laugh, Killer, Laugh."
Laugh, Killer, Laugh.
James was also in that. James Lorenz was in that.
Okay.
And William Forsythe was in that film.
Now his Kamal, his fame came from the Jerky Boys film, right? The Jerky Boys movie.
One of the Jerky Boys.
He is one of the Jerky Boys, right?
Yes,
And I have a picture of you there, and this is in production now. I think you play a homeless person in this picture.
Yeah, this is the last. Actually, it's some kind of a science fiction podcast that I. Shame to say I don't know much more
No working title yet, there, Joe.
about it. As soon as but yeah, I play kind of a mystical character, almost a figment of the protagonist's
Right.
imagination, perhaps, and not real. But
other than acting on stage at the Hardscabble, now you also did some other production work, acting work on stage at other local areas in and around Long Island, right?
Fortunate enough to have worked in quite a few. The first person who did give me an opportunity to actually do something on stage is Debbie Plezia. She's over in Lindenhurst at the South Shore Theater Experience. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough to work some Shakespeare at the Carriage House in the Vanderbilt Museum.
Yeah,
and I also did Taming of the Shrew at the Smithtown Center for the Performing Arts.
Nice,
which was my last gig, and it was, for me, it's as much as it is being able to be an artist.
Yeah.
It's also the people in the theater.
Oh yeah, no,
it's very special. The bonds that you make, the relationships that you make.
Sure. You become a family. You become a family.
You run into people later on, and you always remember that person for having worked with them in something, anything, no matter what it is.
Now, you were in a production, Die Mommy Die. Was that also at Hardscabble, or was that somewhere else?
The first production Hardscabble did as a board directors, as a corporation.
Oh, okay.
Funded by Bridgehampton Bank, gave us a grant to do this. The gentleman to my left there in the picture, Michael Colwell, he was.
You mean the woman?
Well, that's there's a woman on the stage, but Michael is every bit a man there, and
right. Well, yeah, of course.
He's not making himself up. This was a Charles Bush play. It's a spoof, a satire on those early '60s Betty Davis type whatever happened to Baby Jane things.
Speaking with you, Joe, before this, I didn't know you, and I appreciate James with having you on and giving me your number and meeting somebody from the theater world. You have a certain way of speaking. It's amazing how the amount of years that you put in on stage and acting, whether it be local theater or whatever. It's just the presence, how you speak. It's very theatrical, I
hope that's a good thing.
No, it's a great thing. It's just when you meet somebody from the theater, actor, from the theater, you have to emphasize, and I see that, I hear that in your tone, and it's great. No, it's awesome. It's great. You can't take it with you.
I just grew up like you, Georgia, a kid from Queens.
Yeah. Hey, kid from Queens, and here we are talking, right? I mean, Astoria and Flushing, right here. You can't take it with you. Where was that? Was that in Hardscabble or?
To be in Queens.
Oh, really?
That's that's the Parkside Players. They're in Woodhaven,
What are
Queens.
you in your underwear over there, Joe?
That theater has been around, I would say, a good 40 years.
Really? Wow, wow. Now, I have a playbill behind me from the Joe Papp Theater when De Niro and Ralph Macchio and Burt Young was that was his first theater coming back in from film to theater, and that was at Joe Papp Theater in Lower Manhattan. And that was an awesome play that De Niro was in. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to go to that theater.
The Public Theater?
Yeah. It's Joe Papp the Public Theater.
I've been there. I've been there to see plays. But,
Yeah. No, it's a nice little spot there. But
what was that? What were they doing there?
It was called Cooper and His Teddy Bear, and it was De Niro's, I guess, first play actually from film to the stage, and he put a lot of work into it, and I mean, I'm like it was De Niro freak, so I had like front row tickets. I made a whole night of it, with the limo and everything. It was crazy, but that was a great experience.
I'm thinking of. Do you know Kevin Corrigan? Any chance? A friend of James?
No.
He's been in all kinds of movies and TV. But
yeah.
I don't know why, but I was just thinking of an off-Broadway show that I saw him in. It was one of the most memorable shows I'd ever seen. It was called Ninth and Joni.
Oh.
And I don't know. I just was thinking of, the off-Broadway, the theater, and I'm hoping he might be.
All right. So we have some chats finally coming in from James. He says, ask Joe about his acting work with Shakespeare in the Vanderbilt Museum. I think we did that already. Maybe that was an older chat. Ask about the play Gut Musk or Gut Musk?
Gut Music.
I don't know. Gut Musk.
It's Gut Music.
Gut Music.
It was a play I wrote with Eva Dolan. Takes place in Saratoga Springs, New York. Very interesting. I think it's a very interesting topic. It deals with, it's a period piece.
Mm-hmm.
Takes place in Saratoga toward the end of the Second World War.
Oh.
And pretty much it takes place in this sort of luncheonette. George, remember the luncheonette?
Yeah, the luncheonette, sure.
Creams.
Yeah.
Burgers,
man, I used to love the egg creams.
Well, anyway,
he was also mentioning something Yiddish theater competition. What is that all about?
Well, we entered the play in that.
In a competition.
A competition.
Yeah.
And one of the finalists. It's something I would hope someday maybe somebody will give it some credence and put it on. I think it's a pretty good piece. And as a matter of fact, we did a reading at James's house a number of years ago.
Okay. I was always curious to know when an actor prepares for a role on the stage versus film or TV. Is there anything different in doing that, or is it the same? I mean, in the preparation.
Well, it's different in a way. I would say the most important thing is that in film you don't have that fear that things will go wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, theater is live, right? Like Buzz Talk Live.
And do it again, or do something with the editing. I think there's a lot of pressure that's off.
Yeah.
I would say, as an actor and a student of acting, that theater is where you cut your teeth in acting. I mean, let's face it. Even even big movie stars, they come back to the theater, even though they don't have to get the juice again going. You know.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like, I don't know, is it the reverse, or is it usually you start in the theater and then you go to migrate to film? Could it be the other way around? Would it be tougher? Would it be tougher for somebody?
Yes, it can be. I think that has a lot to do with what opportunities arise for an actor as he's, you know,
Right, right.
in his journey. But as I say, I'm not going to say that it's any more difficult or,
Right.
but the pressure of being prepared to go on stage. I mean, that's it. It's live.
Yeah, it's live. I mean, you rehearse obviously, and get the show up and going, but yeah, once the audience loads in,
Film scene, the fact that's in the back of your head that if I screw up, we can do it again, takes a lot of pressure off.
what do you feel as a, let's set the scene here. I mean, as far as like having a play come off the ground and first show, opening night, you're backstage, the curtain is still down, and the juices are flowing. You got anxiety. What's going on in your mind?
Somebody's going to make a mistake tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you can cover the mistakes, can't you?
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, you roll with the punches, and you come up with some ad lib lines and stuff like that.
Back in a minute, folks.
So, all right. So James is saying about ask about a script with John Costello about boat disaster in New York, 1900s.
We before John's passing, he and I wrote a couple of screenplays together. We did some writing together. Some of the best memories of my life are sitting in that little kitchen in Brooklyn, hammering out scenes. But
yeah,
there was a disaster, New York City disaster back around the turn of the century. At that time, a lot of people went on these boat excursions to places like Locust Valley on the North Shore,
right,
or the Rockaways, and the story is about an excursion from the Lower East Side, and it's based on a true story, the General Slocum disaster, and it's pretty much sort of historical fiction.
So a period piece, and that's like
disaster, in much the same way that the effects of the disaster of 9/11 are exponential in that.
Yeah.
How many millions of people really are affected by it? There were millions of people.
Millions. And they still are every September 11th. They're affected by it. I have some production shots of you in various roles, and you look pretty dapper there in your suit there, and you.
Yeah, I wanted to buy that suit, and they wouldn't sell it to me.
They wouldn't sell it to you. Where is this? What's
Outside, this is Agatha Christie's.
Oh, the Agatha Christie. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean.
Thoreau story. So.
Yeah, that's so like what you're saying, and then here you are. You're.
Yeah, I did being that I was starting the theater, I wanted to learn all different facets. So I stage managed a musical.
Oh, okay.
That was me backstage.
Yeah. I mean, and you got some rehearsal going on here.
It's like 12 Angry Jurors.
Oh. Yeah. Is that Fiddle on the Roof or no?
That's The Tempest.
The Tempest. Okay. I don't know. Look, and who are these people here?
Group that the second from the left fellow, John Pasadino, is the director of.
Right. Right.
That was at South Shore with Debbie Plessy, the woman who gave me my start in acting. And
oh, really?
We are at the Vanderbilt Museum.
All right.
Shakespeare Festival, and
Now, is that the Hardscabble or is that someplace else?
These are all different places here.
Oh, okay.
Different theaters on Long Island. There's the Arthur Miller, the Crucible.
Oh, wow.
Just makes me looking at these pictures just to reinforces my, what I said before about how many really, really talented.
Oh,
people.
yeah, the talent, right? Sure, the people that you.
It's amazing. And
Yeah, absolutely. They become family, But so I mean, acting to you is your first love. You think? I mean, you tried the whole theater experience and running the theater, and getting that off the ground, but you wanted to act. You
well,
wanted.
I do. That's my first love, and that's my passion. It's what I get the most satisfaction out of.
Yeah.
But I have to say, there's something about producing, just in general.
I think as you get older, you
Just from
you put that
being
producer hat
thrown
on.
into the production to being a producer, I learned a lot about what's really involved and how important the producer plays. I mean,
Sure. Well, let's face it. I mean, to be a good producer, you have to know all the roles, and that's in like any entertainment industry job in a producer role. You have to know every job to become a really really great producer. You need to know directing, you need to know producing, you need to know what the video guy is doing. Everybody, audio, lighting.
and you need to choose these people. What I was going to
Yeah.
say, the most interesting thing that I found about producing is that producers do have their own styles.
Yeah.
Once you learn enough about what it means to be a producer, you see how different producers, record producers,
Mm-hmm.
plays, film producers, have their own unique style.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. Let's change the topic a little bit to sports because I tell you, looking behind you, I see home plate, and I believe you said you were an umpire.
Yeah, that was my avocation for many years, younger part of my life. But,
Right. Right.
I was an umpire.
So what level umpire did you work at?
Well, I didn't get that. What was that?
What level at umpiring did you work at? Like,
I finally made it as far as college baseball. I was a fill-in umpire for the Atlantic League. It's an independent professional.
oh, the Long Island Ducks.
I worked a lot of years,
Right.
a lot of summers on Cape Cod, which is a famous developmental league for young players. A lot of great players
Right.
came to that league, and you get to spend time in a lot of different interesting places.
Yeah.
One of the
No.
things I liked about umpiring was traveling from place to place.
From place to place, yeah. I mean, well, with the college, and with the Atlantic League, you're traveling all over the place, and
Yeah, I've been to quite a few places.
yeah.
America, I would have not normally seen had I.
What about football? What's your favorite team?
Favorite team is the New York Jets.
New York Jets, right here, baby. What do you think, Sam Darnold? You think
Yeah,
he's a leader?
Really a franchise player. I think Douglas is doing a great job of building a team around him.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you got to do is get a line to protect.
You got to
him.
get that quarterback, and then then you got to build.
As
Right?
far as today's NFL game, it's a schoolyard. It's the blacktop game.
Right.
Throw the ball down the field. So
Yeah.
it's all about the quarterback.
It's all about the quarterback. Absolutely.
But if we all know the Jets, something will happen. I just
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching since the Namath days, and let me tell you, man, it's rough. we had a window there in '98. We had a window. We had a shot, but then that Benedict Arnold. I don't want to get into it.
I've spoken a lot of
Oh
many
my
times
God.
about writing a play, a comedy
Yeah.
about a Jet fan.
Yeah, I know. James is a big Jet fan too, and I always see it. And he was.
James is the quintessential Jet fan.
Oh yeah, I know. He's crazy. He also wants what's your favorite Twilight Zone episode?
Favorite Twilight Zone episode? Boy, that's one of the toughest questions anybody's ever asked.
That's from James.
I would have to say it's Willoughby.
Willoughby.
Or in Willoughby.
Willoughby.
The guy that he's commuting, he's got the high profile job. His wife is, down his
That's
back.
not the one with the no face, right?
No, that happens to be a good one too. But I mean, we could another hour talking about.
I know. I always like the one that the guy's in the airplane and he's seeing the little guy on the wing. I always like that one too.
William Shatner, that is.
Yeah.
But
How about honeymooners? What's your favorite honeymooners?
honeymooners have to be. I think it's convention. Going to the convention.
Oh yeah, right. The convention.
End up going. They're the ones that are going the opposite direction.
Right. That's pretty
Another
good.
tough one. You can't. There's so many good ones,
Oh my God, I love the one with the golf. That he learns how to play golf in like 5 hours. I love that one. But so I tell you, having you on tonight, Joe, was an experience, and I mean,
just leave it at that, George. Okay. Yeah.
What's that?
Leave it at that. Okay.
Let's leave it at that. No. You're a great guy, and I really appreciate you coming on Buzz Talk Live. And I think it's a unique discussion of theater, and people that are right now being locked down. The theaters are closed in Manhattan, right? And there's nothing, no activity.
Yeah, they're closed everywhere.
Yeah. So once I don't know what phase that's going to be, but hopefully the phase will happen that theater will come back and people go back out to the shows, and who knows? Get your acting together again, and who knows? You can have a role on the stage again. Doing another production.
I can't wait. And thanks for having me, George.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you. Thanks for being on, and I really appreciate it.
Up the hill over here, so
we got to. Hey, Farmingdale. We got to meet for beer one time. And I think you were telling me about some speakeasies too.
Yeah, there are two on Main Street. One is in the ice cream parlor, Charlotte's Ice Cream Parlor, and then there's another one further up the road. Yeah, it's quite a place these days, Farmingdale.
Yeah, it really is. I wish Beth Page had the same sort of inspiration to do that here. I mean, I have a sleepy little town, but who knows? It's all about the politics.
It's all.
Joe, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, you take care. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll give you a ring. We'll get together. Okay.
Go Jets.
Yeah, let's go Jets. All right, thanks. Hey, that was great. Tonight was a really good interview with Joe and his experience in ownership of a local theater, and the whole Farmingdale. He had his handprint on in getting Farmingdale up and running, and getting the people in bars and restaurants and to the theater, and it was great. What a show! So stick with us for Sunday night, where we're gonna try a little something different Sunday night. So tune in at 9 p.m. and I'll see you then. So stay safe and have a pleasant tomorrow. Good night, America.